Okay, to simplify your exponents, let's try out. Let's say if we have a fractional exponent. Anytime you have a fractional exponent, okay, let's say if it was just an imaginary x, and we had m over m, okay? This is the same thing as putting n, your radical sign, times x, then squaring that to m. Now, I know that looks confusing, so let's work out an example. What I mean by that, let's say if we had 9 to the 1/2, okay? If we had that value, according to our formula, let me erase these.
Lenora Chase, you have a phone call here in the main office. Lenora Chase, you have a phone call, please. Thank you.
So let's go back and say this is 1 over 2, okay? All I did was change the color of it because I want to show you guys something. So whenever you have something like this, right, according to our formula, our denominator becomes what root we're finding, okay? What root we are finding. So we're finding the square root, or the second root. Alright. See where I put that to? Okay. Now, our number is going to stay the same. Our number stays the exact same. Now this would be raised to, all of this would be raised to 1. Now, remember, anything raised to 1 is just going to be 1. So what's the square root of 9? It's going to be 3. So that's what that is. Let's try something a little bit different. Let's say if we had (81 to the 1/4). Okay? So we had 81 to the 1/4. So according to our rule, our denominator becomes what root we are finding. Okay? So we're finding the the 4th root, alright, of 81. And this would be raised to 1. Alright? So whenever you have that, what that means is that 4th root, that means what times what times what times what equals 81. You guys notice how I have 1, 2, 3, 4? The same number as my denominator? That's what that means. Okay? So, you could do this in the calculator, do this in your head, whatever you want to do. What's my answer going to be? That answer is going to be 3. Okay? So, we would end up with 3 raised to 1, because remember our numerator is what we square it as. So 3 raised to the first power is just flat out 3. Alright? Let's try 125 raised to the 1/3. Okay, same concept. It's the same thing as using your denominator and figuring out what root we were finding with that. Then this is all going to be raised to our numerator, which is 1. Okay? So remember, now we're looking for what times what times what equals 125. Okay? If you work that out, it's going to be 5. 5 times 5 times 5 equals 125. So then you would write 5 raised to 1, and of course that's just going to be 5. Now you really don't need to write this 5 raised to 1. If it's raised to 1, you pretty much know it's going to be 5. So you don't have to do that. Just want you to understand that there. Now let's try that same number of 125, but let's change our numerator to 2. Okay? Still doing the same steps. Our denominator tells us what root we are finding, so we're finding the third root of it. Alright. Now this numerator of 2 makes me square this number. Okay? Whatever my value becomes, I need to square it. So we already determined what the third root of 125 is. It's going to be 5. So eventually we're going to end up with 5 squared. That simplified is 5 times 5, which is 25. So that's a little bit different. Anytime it's the same steps, but that numerator tells us at the end we need to square that number. Okay?